$380. That's what, roughly 5.8 million rupiah? Now I want you to imagine earning that exact amount. Not for an entire month of work, not for a grueling, stressful week, but for writing just one single article. We're talking roughly 2,000 words, completed in about 4 hours. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to break down a really fascinating document that analyzes in detail exactly how an Indonesian writer with literally zero prior experience can unlock this level of income on the international market.
I know exactly what you might be thinking right now. You're hearing that $380 figure and thinking, okay, is this a scam? Is it a wild exaggeration? A 1 in a million lottery ticket? But before you completely write this off, stick with me here. We are going to unpack the exact mechanics of who actually pay this kind of money, why they are honestly thrilled to pay it, and the precise step-by-step path you can take to make those numbers your reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's masterclass. We'll quickly cover the economics of writing, finding your profitable niche, the honest income roadmap, your first week plan, and finally, the mistakes you absolutely need to avoid. Starting with part 1, the economics of writing. Why do foreigners pay so much? To really understand how $380 for a single article is even possible, we kind of have to demystify the international market. See, businesses in places like the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, they have an enormous, basically never-ending need for written content. Blogs, website copy, newsletters, you name it. A local US-based writer typically charges anywhere from $200 to $800 for a standard article. Now, as an educated Indonesian who speaks and writes English, your cost of living is vastly different. You can produce that exact same quality and comfortably charge $25 to $80. To you, well, that pays for a whole lot of nasi goreng, right? But to a US business owner, that is an absolute bargain. And what's really interesting here is how this completely shifts your perspective on competition. You aren't fighting for pennies against other Indonesian writers, not at all. Your competitive advantage is that massive gap between what you need to earn and what foreign clients are already accustomed to paying. You're essentially stepping into the ring with a $500 US writer, matching their quality, and easily winning the contract on price. Let's move on to part 2, finding your profitable niche. The big question is, do you actually need to be an expert? So the immediate thought most people have is, but wait, do I need to be a certified expert to write about these high-paying topics? Let's just crush that imposter syndrome right now. The highest-paying niches globally are finance, technology, health, legal, and software. And the source document we're analyzing is crystal clear on this. Most content writing does not require deep academic expertise. What it actually requires is the ability to research a topic thoroughly and explain it clearly to a general audience. You don't need a finance degree to write a personal finance article. You just need to be able to synthesize credible sources into a clear, engaging narrative. That is a skill, not a credential. But hey, what if you just leverage what you already know? The text points out these awesome Indonesian advantage niches. We're talking topics like travel writing, Southeast Asian business and culture, or emerging market finance. In these specific areas, your background isn't just some neutral starting point. It's a genuine, highly sought-after advantage that clients specifically want and will gladly pay for. All right, on to part 3, the honest income roadmap. Let's talk about what you actually expect. So the crucial point here is that this timeline is the realistic, honest journey. This isn't a magical, overnight, get-rich-quick scheme. In your first 1 to 3 months, you're a beginner, earning maybe $10 to $25. Why? Because you have no reviews yet. Your only goal in this phase is getting those 5-star ratings to prove you're reliable. By months 3 to 6, armed with a solid portfolio, you step up to $30 to $80. For months 6 to 12, you're established, commanding $80 to $200 as clients actually start finding you. And finally, after a year of solid consistency, you become a specialist in a high-value niche. That's exactly where our $380 article came from, a finance publication that just needed a reliable specialist. Let's look at part 4, your first week plan. We call this the 7-day sprint. Time to shift gears from theory to practice, because this isn't just some think about it later advice. The source lays out a concrete action plan to get you rolling this week. Day 1, pick a niche you know reasonably well and brainstorm 5 ideas. Day 2, sit down and write a 1,000-word sample article on one of those ideas purely for your portfolio. Day 3, build a fully complete profile on Upwork, because complete profiles get 4 times more views, by the way. Day 4, Apply to 5 entry-level jobs with highly personalized, non-copy-pasted proposals. And days 5 through 7, you follow up and you keep writing more samples. Listen, most beginners quit when they hear crickets. Don't be one of them. You literally just have to keep applying. Which brings us to part 5, mistakes to avoid, the common pitfalls for Indonesian writers. The document identifies 4 distinct traps that specifically keep Indonesian writers from earning what they actually deserve. The first major mistake, underpricing out of fear. You see a job posted for $50 and you propose $20, just praying to win it. Do not do this. It completely destroys the market and just screams low confidence to the client. The fix is incredibly simple. If the job pays $50, you propose $50. If you're the best candidate, they will gladly pay the full rate.
The second mistake is writing in translated Indonesian English. Direct word-for-word translations just do not work in practice. You cannot translate masuk angin to enter wind and expect a foreign client to have any clue what you mean. It just reads totally unnaturally to native speakers. The cure? Read professional English content every single day. Read the exact type of articles you eventually want to write, pay attention to how they structure their sentences, and basically just imitate it until it becomes second nature.
Mistake number 3, pulling a disappearing act after delivery. Handing in the work is not the end of the transaction. This brilliantly illustrates how one tiny action makes all the difference. The fix is just sending a short, polite follow-up message saying you enjoyed the work and would absolutely love to collaborate again. That one simple sentence can turn a one-off gig into a long-term repeat client. And those long-term clients? They are the absolute foundation of sustainable freelance income. And the fourth mistake is waiting to be perfect. Listen to me on this one. Clients care infinitely more about you hitting your deadlines, communicating clearly, and being reliable than they care about you delivering a flawless, poetic masterpiece on your first draft. The fix is to just start before you even feel fully ready, and then improve as you go. Finally, wrapping up with the honest close. Consistency over perfection. The reality we gathered from analyzing this source material is this. The writers who earn the absolute most are not the best writers. They are simply the most consistent, reliable, and professional writers. Earning $380 for a single article isn't a fantasy, and it sure isn't a shortcut. It is the direct result of starting at $15, building a track record over 12 months, specializing, and showing up every single day when everyone else gives up. So, I'm leaving you with this one final, provocative thought. You now have the complete roadmap to build this green wealth, using skills you probably already possess. The economics make complete sense, the timeline is clear, and you know exactly what mistakes to avoid. So the only question left is, what niche are you going to choose today? I challenge you to open up Upwork tonight. Write your very first sample this week, and just start your journey. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.